now. Sponsored by MDH Foundation Repair, redefining the foundation repair experience. Your forecast first on WKRG News 5 at 5.
All right, it is now 5 o'clock. Skies are sunny over the Gulf Coast. There's a view from our Roof Doctor's camera over downtown Mobile. As we head towards 8 p.m. rather, this evening, we'll see a temperature of 73 degrees. Nice and comfortable one ahead. At more in the Wind Creek, just a few thin clouds out there, 74 by 8 o'clock. And sunshine over Pensacola, but a few distant clouds from our Unity Fiber camera. We'll see a temperature of 79 by 8 p.m. All eyes on powerful Category 5 Milton, the latest track from the Hurricane Center, and what this means for the west coast of Florida. As WKRG News 5 at 5 starts right now.
Straight ahead, Hurricane Milton inches closer to the Florida coastline. How local businesses and organizations are preparing to help areas impacted by the major hurricane.
Next, a woman from out of state now in jail after allegedly shooting her husband at the beach.
Local coverage you can count on. You're watching WKRG News 5 at 5.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Peter Albrecht.
And I'm Devin Walsh. Hurricane Milton is our big story at 5. The storm is churning closer to the Tampa Bay area, where it's expected to make landfall in the coming days.
WKRG News 5's Asher Red is joining us live tonight in St. Petersburg. And Asher, people there are still recovering from this last hurricane, and now they've got to get ready for this one.
Yeah, Pete and Devin, here on Treasure Island, you can see what Helene left behind about 2 weeks ago. All of this is debris that's just waiting to get picked up by the wind. It's waiting to get picked up by a storm surge, and quite honestly, could become projectiles by the end of this storm. Unfortunately, this community is gearing up for round 2, and that's Hurricane Milton. At its strongest, Milton was a Category 5 hurricane. It died down for a little bit, and now it's back to its Category 5 strength. It is expected to weaken prior to landfall thanks to a mix of dry air and wind shear. However, Milton will still be an incredibly strong storm with an estimated 110 mile-per-hour winds when it makes landfall and an estimated 10 to 12 feet in storm surge in some areas. 9 Florida counties are under a mandatory evacuation. Those who live near the beach say that these debris-lined streets pose even more of a danger.
I mean, it's my home. It's our home. And I mean, the house withstood the first strike. It withstood Helene. I do not think that with all of this stuff on the streets that they're going to survive this one.
Milton is expected to remain a hurricane across all of Florida, and we could start to see those tropical storm winds roll in as early as tomorrow morning. Live in St. Petersburg, I'm Asher Red, WKRG News 5.
Thank you, Asher. Well, right now, Milton is set to make landfall in the Tampa Bay area either late tomorrow or early Thursday as a Category 3 hurricane.
Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Ed Bloodsworth. He knows the Tampa Bay area well. Ed, you grew up there.
Yep.
This is the biggest storm to hit Tampa directly in a century.
I'll say, living and growing up in Tampa, Tampa's always been known as a city that just gets incredibly lucky when it comes to these systems. The last time a major hurricane struck Tampa Bay, 1921, which is an incredible stat.
Right.
And there's been a change in the track here this afternoon, which actually bodes a little better for Tampa Bay. And any small deviation of the track is going to mean some big impacts in terms of what the impacts will be in terms of surge. But look at this satellite presentation, now back to a Category 5 hurricane. Maximum winds are now at 165 miles per hour with Milton, and the pressure just continues to fall. It is getting stronger this afternoon, down to 905 millibars. Now it's moving to the east and northeast, so it started to make that northeasterly turn towards the west central coast of Florida. But here's the change in the track. We don't normally show that center line on the track. We tend to want you to focus on the entire cone. But when we're this close to landfall, any small deviations north or south will change. And now there has been a southern shift in the track. This would mean less surge into Tampa Bay and into Pinellas County, where Asher is located. But this would mean more surge towards Sarasota, all the way down towards Port Charlotte. So those are very highly developed areas. A lot of the areas that were impacted by this, by Hurricane Helene could see perhaps even higher storm surge. So based off of the newest track, The storm surge potential has dropped to around 3 to 6 feet now into the Tampa Bay, as opposed to the 10 to 15 feet that we were expecting if this storm makes landfall. Now, there will still be subtle changes in this forecast, but it's the surge that will be the main issue with this as we move forward. Again, higher surge amounts expected farther south. We're going to talk more about how much rain is going to fall with this system. That's another big threat from Milton in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Ed. Well, local power crews are heading out to be ready once Milton makes landfall. This morning, crews with Riviera Utilities left Baldwin County, headed to Florida to help assist areas that will be impacted by the hurricane. Power crews with Fairhope's Public Utilities Department are also going to Florida to help in the aftermath of this storm. Utility crews left this morning, headed to Winter Park, where they'll be on standby to help out people in Wauchula, which is 69 miles from Tampa. The crews also are bringing supplies to help once the storm passes.
Members of the Escambia County Sheriff's Office Disaster Response Team preparing to respond to areas hit by Milton. The team has only been back in Northwest Florida for a week after helping with recovery efforts following Hurricane Helene. This time they will help residents in areas impacted by Milton by clearing trees and debris that could prevent access to first responders.
Well, a lot of people decided to hit the road and evacuate before Milton makes landfall.
Dash cam video showing cars lined up along I-295 in Jacksonville as people leave Florida to ride out the storm. Many evacuees are heading west to Alabama, where state parks and RV parks are welcoming those fleeing before Milton hits.
WKRG News 5's Debbie Williams takes us to Stockton, where an RV park is offering free hookups for evacuees.
It's a little off the beaten path, but the welcome mat is out at this RV park in Stockton, and they're asking anyone who needs a place, who needs refuge from the storm, come here. It's free of charge. 500 miles from where Hurricane Milton is expected to make landfall, the Delta RV Park in Stockton sits mostly empty.
We've had it for a couple months and been cleaning it up and adding to it.
With 23 camper hookups and a few cabins currently available, owners Luke Caruth and his wife Zoe Lake are now offering their RV park as a destination for evacuees from Florida free of charge.
We've got 4 or 5 campers coming in, and then some other families have called and said that they're headed this way.
Caruth says he's gotten a lot of calls from as far away as Fort Myers after hearing about it on social media or from a friend.
It's a chain reaction.
Right, find the people that really need it.
To find the people, because those people may not have a phone to look at.
It's an offer with no strings attached.
If they don't have a place, then we'll fill up the cabins, and then if we run out, we'll go get a bunch of tents and we'll find somewhere for them. You know, we're not going to leave them to where they don't have anywhere to stay.
An offer to help from folks who know what it's like to be in the bullseye of a storm.
I've been there. I've been to where I didn't have anywhere to go. You know, it's a bad feeling.
Luke and Zoe say the evacuees can stay as long as they need to. And with the size of this storm, that could be a while. On the Baldwin County Beat in Stockton, Debbie Williams, WKRG News 5.
In a couple of days, you can help us raise money for hurricane victims. On Thursday, you can donate to the American Red Cross to assist with relief efforts in the wake of Helene and Milton. If you'd like to donate now, the website is up and running. Simply scan the QR code on your screen for more information.